I'm out here hiking and I found some old pine stumps. Ooh, sorry about breathing hard. You can see some of them have been chewed up pretty good, but there's a whole line of them right here. And I found one right here that I noticed there was lots of dried pitch on top. And these things have been here for years and years and years. You can tell by all the rot around it. I kicked it and kicked it till it came out, and then peeled off a bunch. And then underneath there, this isn't, but right here, this whole core is fatwood. So I'm gonna carry that out with me. But pretty cool little find. Until it's fatwood, I scratched underneath that where all this rot's coming off. See, that's just picking off. But right here where it's hard, I scratched that and it smells really strong of pine. So that's how you tell when it's fatwood. And if there's my camera cover slid over, but when you look right here and you break off this soft stuff and then you get to the hard inside and smell that after you scratch it, it smells piney. That's fatwood. And another indication is if you look at the top of it and it's got pitch sitting up on top of it. And these things, like I said, you can see it's been rotting away. It's been here for years and years and years. So you got pitch sitting on top. Chances are you got a big chunk of fatwood right there. All right, I'm gonna haul this out with me. Definitely got myself a little find. All right, another easy way to find some fatwood. Find those stumps. Those trees were cut off. These ones are cut off even with the ground. And like I said, the other two, I didn't see any pitch on top, but this one I did. But it was loose enough where I could kick it a bunch of times and it slowly came loose, and then I reached underneath and popped it out. And we'll go ahead, it's even got a nice little handle on the bottom. Can't beat that. It's been a couple weeks since we've gotten this piece of wood. It's cold and frosty now. See all this snow and ice here. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and open this up and get myself some fatwood so I can start a little fire. I got my little Coughlin's trusty little axe. I just leave this thing laying outside and it's always exposed to the elements and everything else, but I've had it out here for years. The thing still works great. My trusty Coughlin's fire stick or fire steel and my bayite striker. Alright, let's go ahead and see if I can get some out of there. There's still a lot of dead wood. It's been sitting out in the rain, so it's actually soaked up quite a bit of water in the dead stuff anyway. Oh, look at that. There's a nice little piece of, oh yeah, fatwood right there. One of the roots. A little bit more right there. This is rotten wood up here, but this little piece down here is fatwood. Still breaking off some of the rotted stuff. Oh yeah, look at that. Look how rich that is. So we'll use that right there. See if we can get some of this to fire up. Set it off here to the side. Feels kind of wet though, because it's absorbed some water. But we'll see. Yeah, you never know where you'll find some nice bits of fatwood lying around. You could actually get a log like this burning with fatwood. You get like this little bit where I got it fluffed up right there. If you could get that sparked, it would catch on fire. Of course, it would smoke like crazy, but this whole log would sit there and burn for quite a while. Oh, very sticky. Got my little knife right here. I can get me some little shavings, which are a lot easier to spark. Be real careful you don't cut yourself when you're working with a knife on fatwood, because you can hit a soft spot and the knife could slip and get yourself cut. Alright, let's go ahead and see if we can get this to fire up in the fire pit. Got a nice little pile of it going on. And everything is soaking wet out here. Let's go ahead and bring that big old handful I got. Let's see. Something to lay it on. Get these little pieces off to the side. So it's definitely feeling wet. So let's see how well this starts up. And I mean wet by as the log's been in all this frost and snow that's been coming down and rain. So there we go. Let's go ahead and give this a try. Took a little bit, but it fired up. Once you get a flame going, especially with this wet stuff, you got to be real careful. Make sure you move things around lightly. There we go. Oops. That is so cool. Finding that piece of fatwood out while I was hiking just down in this old trail where there used to be a few pine trees, and they cut them out years and years ago, and there's a few left standing, but most of it was just dead stumps. And there we go. Now, if I would have used this when I first pulled it out of the ground, it would have fired up a lot easier, because like I said, I've been leaving it laying here in the yard in this rain and snow for a couple weeks. But we definitely got a nice fire going on. Now, the biggest trick would be to find dry wood to get the light on fire. And in this situation, you could actually burn that whole stump of fatwood, and you'd get a major fire going on. It'll give you plenty of time to get some wood to get dried out. lay some to the side. There we go. So I can lay some of these thin cuts across the top of it like this, and they'll be in that flame so they can dry this wood out. It's also been laying right here in the rain and snow, so let's go ahead and kind of build up over that. So I'll slowly start drying this out. The main thing is to don't try to get it going too fast, then you could suffocate it. Take your time. If you have to use this in an emergency situation. I know a lot of times it might be cold and you might be freezing, but it's going to do you no good to be getting in too big a hurry and that thing going out on you and you not being able to get it started back up. And then this wet wood will actually burn a lot better once you have got a nice hot bed. Right now, I'm just trying to get that thing going. Building myself a nice little cabin around the fire. The inside of this wood ain't too wet, but it's still somewhat, so you gotta be careful. There we go. Now you see that spraying up like that, or that heat coming up? I made a chimney effect. And how that works, it's like when you got a chimney on your fireplace or whatever, when the smoke and heat starts rolling up out of it, it actually creates a vacuum. That's why chimneys work so well. And it doesn't, it doesn't smoke up your house and stuff when you got a fire in there, because once you got that heat flowing up and it starts going out that chimney, it actually starts a vacuum. And then it just sucks all the smoke and everything out right out the chimney hole. There we go. Oh yeah, these ones are just like, you can see how the coloration of that. This is dry right here, kind of, but this is just soaked. So we'll get some of these up around the fire. Some of this soaked wood with snow and ice still on it, we'll get those stacked up around here and get those drying out. They were really dry wood, but oh, look at that perfect chimney effect going on right there. And once you got some flame, get that the bigger pieces of wood in there. But even at this point, you got to be careful, because it's just the small stuff that's burning right now. And that chimney's about gone, so. That way when you set some of these around like these on the outside, you can pull them out before they catch on fire and split them open and to feed your fire and everything. But right now we're just worried about getting that wood dried out. Yeah, these things are soaked. There we go. Now we're getting Starting to get some snap, crackle, pop. So these 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch pieces are starting to burn now. That's good. But when you do it like this, make sure you keep an eye on these bigger pieces so you can get them off so they don't catch on fire. Right now I'm just trying to get them, the outside of them, dried off a little bit. And working on building that heat base layer. Get some little pieces inside there. Keep that core fed. Split open. Down on there. It's not acting like it wants to really get up and go because of that wood so wet, but if you really needed to, when you find fatwood like that, like I said, you can put a bigger chunk of fatwood in there and it'll burn for quite a while to help get everything dried out so you can get the fire going. 'Cause that big old chunk of fatwood I got would burn for a really long time. Oh yeah, it's starting to get nice and warm. That's the main part. You gotta get it hot. So once it gets hot, then it's a heck of a lot easier to keep it going. Oh, this big chunk's catching on fire. I'm gonna pull it out. And I can go ahead and split it up. It's got it burnt a little bit. I mean, this wood isn't like it's been laying underneath snow for a month or anything like it's crazy wet, but it's lightly wet. But you can get wet wood to burn if you got some fat wood. But you might need a pretty good chunk of it. And you got to get that base going. Once you get that base going and get your logs around it starting to dry out, then you can get something going. Alright, y'all. Thanks for watching. We got us a nice little fire going. Yeehaw. Nothing like the heat of a fire. Now I gotta go figure out what I'm gonna cook over it. Alright. Bye.